Nancy Iannone.
Here.
Roger Smith.
Here.
Nicole Cohen. Pat Rooney. Joe Navarrete.
Here. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay. Well, this is our first regularly scheduled board meeting since school began. So I just want to take the opportunity here. I'm sorry? Yeah, you can't, I don't know. Can you guys hear me okay? Is that all right? Yeah, so let's hope the bomb passes and we'll get one. But, at any rate, last year was a very unusual year for us, well, first of all, and we had our superintendency position was made up by 4 individuals who together led the district by working with the governing board and the administrative team. And all 4 of them stepped up without hesitation and volunteered to serve the district in whatever way they could. So, and you know what our district mission statement is, together we can, and they certainly did this past year. And as a board, we just wanted to go ahead and present them with just a little token that is the Team Player of the Year Award. Kind of cute. I found it on the internet, and Terry put it together for me. But this is to all of our directors. So I'm going to read what it says and then present them to each of them. But it says it's from the Lake Havasu Unified School District Team Player of the Year Award. It says you worked hard and it shows. You get it done. You get it right. Your results are outstanding. And it was for our year July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016. So just join me in giving a hand to our directors. So Brad, here we go. Thank you very much. Aggie, how are you? You're on the wrong side of the room. Aggie, Missy, thank you very much. And Denise. You got your remarks. I know. And thank you so much. You are appreciated. Okay, and then, as you can see, we have a new person sitting next to me. She's not that new. A lot of you have already met her. But we're very happy to introduce Diana Sire, our new superintendent. And just a recap, it took us a year to complete our search for our new superintendent, and it was quite a process. We held a community forum at ASU campus where we explored current trends in education and engaged in an interactive process where community members, staff, parents, and students discussed the traits and attributes that they were looking for in a superintendent for our district. We surveyed our staff to find out their priority list when it came to the hiring of a new superintendent. We had a group of community volunteers who agreed to serve on the district screening committee. As a board, we very much appreciate all the input that we receive from the community and from our staff, as well as parents and students as well. So we're very happy to welcome Diana as our newly hired superintendent. And you probably have read in the paper, so I don't want to go through 20 pages of all of her experience, but her last position was as the Associate Superintendent for Riverside County Office of Education, where she provided educational leadership to 23 school districts and over 430 students.
Right? 430,000.
Yes, isn't that what I said?
No.
What did I say?
430.
Oh, well, it was a small county. Sorry about that. 430,000 students. Her awards include Administrator of the Year for Western Riverside County Association of School Managers, Principal of the Year for Yoruba, is that how you say that? Yoruba? Unified School District, and Administrator of the Year for Riverside County. So Diana, we are very happy that you are here joining us and that you decided to become part of our team. So welcome. Thank you. And now we're going to start on our formal recognition of visitors, and I'm going to turn this over to our new superintendent.
I actually have babies. President Navarrete, members of the board, I am proud today, and I have absolutely no claim to the greatness of this teacher, but I'm proud today to introduce Jenny Sautner. And Jenny, if you wouldn't mind standing up while I speak about you. Jenny has been named the 2016 Monsanto National Rural Teacher of the Year. So for our entire nation, our Rural Teacher of the Year is Jenny Sautner. She actually was named... In 2015, Jenny was named the Mojave County Teacher of the Year and the Arizona Rural Teacher of the Year, which sent her, of course, to the national competition. She is actually going to be going to Columbus, Ohio in October to the National Rural Schools Conference to accept her award. Mrs. Sautner has taught at Lake Havasu High School for 13 years, and she is focused on being a student advocate, and she works very hard to improve the culture of Lake Havasu High School. In addition to teaching freshman English, Jenny sponsors both the Student Council and the National Honor Society. 5 years ago, she began the Day of Service with the National Honor Society students, and since then, every high school freshman completes a service project each spring that benefits either the school or the community. Mrs. Sautner has also worked with the State Organization for Student Councils and will be bringing over 2,000 Arizona Student Council members to Lake Havasu in January as she is hosting the AASC State Conference for the first time since 1988. In 2009, Jenny went on a Fulbright exchange to the Czech Republic, and she still sees many of her Czech students as they have an opportunity to visit the States. They come and stay with her. In 2014, Jenny earned her national board certification, and in 2015, she became an Arizona master teacher. She conducts professional development in our district on the areas of close reading, thinking maps, and Socratic seminars. And she has been named by the K-12 Foundation the most influential teacher 9 times, which is pretty amazing. Jenny and her husband are both Lake Havasu High School graduates, and Jenny's daughters go to Starline Elementary and the Little Knights Preschool on the Lake Havasu campus. Jenny is invested in making Lake Havasu City a better place, not only for her own children, but for all children. Congratulations, Jenny.
And I have a certificate for you, and also the article that was in the newspaper, so congratulations. And I have to say something as the mom and president of the board, but also mostly as the mom of this outstanding person right here. You know, it doesn't happen in a vacuum, and Jenny was born in Lake Havasu and has gone through our school system from K-12 and has had the opportunity to have wonderful teaching staff, great administrators, awesome staff members all the way through, and it really shows, because when you get that kind of a result. When you were at NAU, I remember that we got notification that our NAU students that came from Lake Havasu were among the highest graded students in the top 10% or whatever at the school, right? So it was it's a big feather in the cap of Lake Havasu and all of our staff for what they do. So, this is it's a great award for Jenny, but it's also speaks volumes for our district. So thank you, honey.
All right, our next recognition is for the K-12 Foundation. And for those of you who are not familiar, that would be me, probably the only one in the room who's new to this, maybe David, our new reporter. The K-12 Foundation is a nonprofit organization with a mission to support students, faculty, and administration of Lake Havasu School District. And their intent is to enrich the school's program so that Lake Havasu will be a world-class learning center for the benefit of Lake Havasu community. The foundation has really helped us serve to bridge the gap in unpredictable and insufficient educational funding from the state government, and they have worked to preserve programs and resources that are essential building blocks for our students. I can read, I'm really honest. Founded in 2003, the foundation has partnered with local businesses and organizations to raise funds for school projects or activities. Throughout the years, the foundation has generously donated many thousands of dollars to the district, helping our schools to purchase supplies, support student clubs, and provide employee training that would not otherwise be possible. The current board members are Gail Millay, Andy Campbell, Monica Hall, David Young, Nella Rositi, Amy Sugamele, Jamie Hammer, Amy Parrish, and Lynn Edwards. Past directors include the K-12 include Jim Day, Hal Christensen, Marquita McKnight, Cinda Ross, Penny Bertlis, and Gail Baumkirchner. In particular, we would like to thank the current director, Gail Millay, and the K-12 Foundation for some recent donations. In December of 2015, a check in the amount of $6,481 was donated, with half going to elementary school music and the other half going to elementary school art programs. In April of 2016, a $23,300 donation was made, also designated to music and art. This gift provided $10,000 each to Lake Havasu High School and Thunderbolt Middle School for the repair and purchase of musical instruments as we are rebuilding our music program. The remaining $3,300 went to Thunderbolt Middle School for the art program, as the middle school does not collect art fees. At the opening day rally on August 3rd, Monica Hall presented checks to each school in the district. Each elementary school received $3,000, the middle school received $4,000, and the high school received $6,000. The total donation was $28,000. This donation was not specifically targeted for music and art, and each site is allowed to determine its needs. Among other things, the donations will be used for the Capturing Kids' Hearts program at Thunderbolt, to continue the homework club at Havasupai, and for stage improvements at Starline Elementary. Again, these are things that will happen solely due to the efforts and generosity of the K-12 Foundation and the many people who participate in the events the Foundation sponsors. At this time, we would ask Mrs. Millay to please come up and receive our thank you on behalf of the board and the district for the Foundation's support.
Thank you, Gail.
Madam President, Superintendent, and members of the board, Superintendent Asire, thank you for helping me with the pronunciation. First, congratulations to Ginny Sautner. When they talk about 9 times she was named the most influential teacher, it was students that did that, not members of the K-12. So all recognition is wonderful, but when students recognize you, it's really special. Just a couple of quick things, and then I will get out of your hair. First of all, K-12 is doing a membership drive right now, and if I could encourage everyone, and especially our principals, to push the drive. One of the things the members of the community are looking for is the school staff committed to the foundation? And in the past, through your membership, you've shown that commitment, so thank you very much. Second of all, we really want to support teacher retention. We know that that's a challenge, and so the foundation is working with America's Best Communities, and I know, Joe, you are you a co-chair with David Young?
Yes.
On Pillar 2, and I know Jamie Festadago is part of it, so several educators are on that committee, and we're working hard to establish some teacher scholarships so that teachers that need to go back to school can get some support. Also some fellowships for teachers that go above and beyond through STEM clubs at science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and there are no funds to reinforce them, so we're going to have some funds to help them out. We believe, just like the school board believes, in a comprehensive education, so we do lots with music and art and, of course, STEM. The Teacher Appreciation Dinner will be coming up in September and Taste of Havasu in October. So thank you very much for all your support of the K-12 Foundation. Together we can. Thank you.
We do have on the agenda a recognition of Calvary Baptist Church. They were unable to be present this evening, so we will be recognizing them at another meeting. And next we have a presentation from Lake Havasu High School. And I believe that Mr. Becker is here on behalf of Lake Havasu and his teacher Kelsey Ballant, who are going to be talking a little bit about the high school School Live kiosks.
All right, good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Steyer. So my name is Kelsey Ballant. I teach special education at the high school. I also teach advertising and PR for a CTE program. Tonight we're here to talk about School Live. Okay, so School Live is a company based out of California, and their whole goal is to connect local businesses with their school district. So they do all the recruiting for businesses, and businesses purchase advertisements, which are then played on kiosks in our school, with the hope that students will then purchase materials or products from those companies. So that puts money back into our community, and then the money that is used for the advertisements is split between School Live and the school district. So 80% of it goes to School Live, and we'll talk about how that's spent, and then 20% of it comes back to Lake Havasu High School. So here's a picture of our kiosk. We have two of them. They're 60 inches tall, high definition notice boards. They do have the ability to be touchscreen, but currently they are not. They're located in A Hall, right outside of the main office, and one is in downstairs J Hall. We wanted to put them in locations where both parents and students would be able to benefit from their information. And then the advertisements, if you look in the center, that's where the high school advertisements go. I'm in charge of running those. And on the top and bottom are the outside advertisements, either from national companies or local businesses, and admin has approval of all advertisements that run from businesses. So these kiosks were completely free to our school district. Installation was free, the purchase of them was free, and that money all comes from the 80% of the advertisements that are bought. If the kiosks malfunction, if they break, if they're vandalized by students, we are not liable at all. It's written into our contract, and they will actually come out and replace them for free. So anything that has to go on with those, they take care of. Currently, we have 3 ads running from the School Live company. One of them is a don't text and drive ad, the other is an anti-cyberbullying, and the third is encouragement to thank a teacher sometime in the day. Ads that are from LHHS are currently cheer team advertisements, we have choir club advertisements, and advertisements for our Lift Up auditions. Future ads from School Live, as I said before, are all approved by the administration at our school. And any ads that do not benefit our students or we do not want on our campus, we can simply turn down and say no. Common ads that would come from a national perspective are going to be college ads or military branch ads. Like I said before, there's currently no interactive ads, but if we did have some from college or military, these would be interactive and it would only be on a student volunteer basis. So if a student was interested in a military branch, they would have the opportunity to put in an email and receive a personal contact in order to pursue their after high school careers or goals. School Live does not sell student data, and again, it's completely a volunteer basis for students to put those in. You can also connect us to our Career Center. We already have these things, these options for students to connect with colleges and militaries. This is just another outlet for them to do so. As I said before, School Live is really interested in bringing funding into school. We're all well aware funding is short in our state, and when we went to a school in Phoenix for a conference for PR and advertising, we saw this at the school, and we decided what a better way to engage our students, promote our PR class, and bring revenue back to our school. Any funding that is given to our school, that 20%, will be put in Scott's name, and will be used for rewarding students on our campus. So for positive behavior, grades, and attendance, and really just to promote school unity. And that's all I have for you today. If you would like to have an advertisement, you can contact me. Or you can contact Chris, who is the school life director. Yep.
I only have a couple of, I think, pretty simple questions. The first one is do you have a written criteria on how the advertising would be accepted?
So you make contact with School Life. They would talk to you about the type of...
But I mean, as far as what your criteria is internally within the school for running the ad.
Well, we would only want things that would benefit our students. So as we talked about nationally, career and college, we absolutely want to encourage post-high school goals. As far as local businesses, we do want to support our community, who so often we ask for support by providing business to them. So I mean, if a yogurt company wants to send an ad, I don't see any negativity in that.
Okay.
But again, admin would be making those decisions.
But is there a written policy as to what you will accept?
We do not have a written policy. That was my initial question when this was brought to me. I asked the company pretty pointedly, like you're doing right now, of I don't want ads coming onto our campus that don't support the things that we instill in kids. And the big example that I gave them, we do not want a contraceptive company coming in just like they do on spring breaks, where that's one of their major sponsors. We don't want that on our kiosk, and that was the one that I brought up. And they, at that point, that's when they said you were in charge of what goes on that kiosk, and you were able to turn down those advertisements as they come in. The other one that I don't care for as well is when they start hitting up students, and they really do this to college kids when they go on spring break. MasterCard, Visa, Discover, all of them are out there, and they wow you with all these what they call swag nowadays, and hand you a towel on the beach or whatever coupon to get in whatever club. We don't want those advertisements coming in. They're high school kids that have no business having, in my household, no business having a credit card, and I don't want to push that onto others either. So when we get those kind of advertisements, those are the ones that are pushing off.
Okay. And then the second question is I have a concern over interactive. Do you foresee interactive ever getting into the informed consent area, predictive behaviors, that type of thing with a survey, let's say, or something like that?
On there, no, we would not do. I would not okay surveys on there because you're putting our kids in danger of they're putting their name out there and attaching their answers to a survey. Any surveys that come into the high school, when they go through a strict process of how are they approved above my head, and then we go forward from there, and the student name is not attached to any type of survey when we take the notes. So I would be doing the same thing because I don't want kids standing in the hallway when they're to be in class. So hold on, I'm in line, I want to answer this survey right now when I want them in math class, producing in math class as well.
I'd like to go back to the original question. School Life has criteria. Is the school going to write a written criteria? See, the problem is this. Your intentions may be fine, but 3 years from now, there may be somebody else running that program. You need a written standard for your advertisements.
And I would be willing to produce that. She has a question up here, so go ahead.
Of course. Any slide in particular?
While she's doing that, or is there any other questions? Nicole?
How often will the School Live ads change?
We haven't been given a specific timeline. As far as how often, it would really depend on when we approve them. They come in and we'll take our time reviewing them and then we'll go from there. But there's no specific timeline in our contract.
The only other question I have is regarding, you touched on military recruiters, or how does that work?
Well, if a branch of military wants to advertise, them, and then we approve, we would put it on there, and it would just be a way for students to gain information in order to make decisions about their post-high school careers.
Okay.
Yeah, for the last 3 years, I've been going to the high school presenting a career in intelligence, and I give a slide
show and Mrs. Callie George arranges this, would that be something that could be put on there?
We could absolutely advertise for that presentation, and we could even put up a few slides if you would like to target students. Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm very happy it's not interactive, I just want to say that.
Might get some strange things.
Well, Kelsey, I just want to say that we really appreciate all the work that you put into getting that for our school district. No cost to us. If there's an issue, they come and take care of it. It's awesome. And we appreciate you doing that on your own and you know, taking the initiative. So you just have a certificate of appreciation. So thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I was remiss, I didn't introduce our new reporter, David Lewis, sitting here on the front, green shirt, so he's from the Herald. And then also next, I guess we have the LHCEA, so Carol?
All right, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Sire, and directors. First of all, thank you for allowing us, the association, to be a part of Back to School Rally. The last 2 years we've been able to be a part of that, and it seems to be a great capability for us to be out and in the public and being able to recognize our staff. We have a future event coming up for our new staff. Since we weren't able to be a part of our new teacher orientation, we are looking forward to a new upcoming event that we are planning for this month. It's going to be a selfie scavenger hunt in hopes to get our new staff acquainted with Lake Havasu City. And with that, we have gone out all summer long and got a whole bunch of different donations. And so with that, we will be providing those at our little meet and greet when we do our new teacher, or new staff, back to new staff orientation. We also look forward to working with the citizens group on passing our bond and override, which will allow, of course, our district to make our pay scale competitive and able to retain this year's staff at a higher percentage than was ever possible. As we proceed into the primaries, we are looking forward to meeting with our new elected legislators as they begin to design their bills, because at that point, we have learned that if we meet with them now, then come January, when they go into legislative session, then we can have some input. So we are working on, after the November election, obviously, to meet and greet with them and talk about educational needs in Arizona and specifically in the Havasu City. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. All right, under call to the public, Terry, do we have anything? All right, then we'll move on to action items, and we have a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the action item. Consent calendar.
I'm sorry. What did I say? I'm not with it today, I'm sorry.
It'll be a short meeting, we'll just do them all.
We'll just do them all at once, okay. Motion to approve for the consent calendar, I'm sorry.
I move that we approve the consent calendar.
Second. Jerry?
Nancy Iannoni,
Yes.
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Roger Smith,
Yes.
Joe Neveretta,
Yes. All right, under old business, 4.1, second presentation and review of revised policies, JK and JKRB, student discipline, and JLDB and JLDBEA, EB, EC, and ED, restraint and seclusion. Mrs. Walton.
Madam President, members of the board, it is recommended that the board approve the second presentation of the revised policies JK and JKRB, student discipline, and JLDB and JLDBEA, EB, ED, restraint and seclusion. There have not been any changes since the last presentation.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve 4.1 as presented.
Second. Jerry?
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Roger Smith,
Yes.
Nancy Iannoni,
Yes.
Joe Neveretta,
Yes. Item 4.2, second presentation, review of revised policy, GCCA, professional support staff sick leave. Mrs. Minor.
Madam President and members of the board, it is recommended that the board approve the first presentation. Should that say second presentation? Okay. Second presentation of revised policy GCCA, professional and support staff sick leave. There have been no changes to the policy since the first reading, June 21st, 2016.
We have a motion?
I make a motion that we adopt 4.2 as presented.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Jerry?
Roger Smith,
Yes.
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Nancy Iannoni,
Yes.
Renee Barretta,
Yes. All right, now we'll go to action items, but we won't do them all at once. 5.1, approval of high school digital communications student trip to Indianapolis. Mrs. Norman?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. My name is Crystal Norman, and I am the current we just recently changed the name, digital communication media advisor, also known as journalism in yearbook. I am here tonight to request permission to take a group of 10 students to a journalism convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. The trip takes place in the middle of November, which is actually over Veterans Day, and they're really excited because they don't miss as many days of school. Believe it or not, they don't want to miss school. And so we will be traveling by plane, obviously, departing on November 9th and returning on November 14th. The funding sources come from the students procuring tax credit, their own personal funds, as well as Wade J-TED contributions.
I make a motion that we approve 5.1 as presented.
Second. Any questions or comments? Jerry?
Nancy Iannoni,
Yes.
Roger Smith,
Yes.
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Renee Barretta,
Yes.
How many students are going?
10.
10. How many chaperones?
1. Thank you, Kristen. Okay, 5.2, first presentation and review of revised policy KF, community use of school facilities. Mrs. Wood.
Okay, Madam President, members of the board, it's recommended that the board approve the first presentation of the revised policy KF, community use of school facilities. Per the Arizona School Boards Association Policy Services dated April of 16, the following policy revisions are being presented. The policy is to modify and add language requiring that the school district, its governing board, employees, and agents shall be named as additional insured under the liability insurance policy during the use of the facilities and property. This change is necessary to limit the costs and expenses when named as a defendant for an injury or damage resulting from the use of the facility. And our manual will be updated with this.
Do you have a motion?
I move that we approve action item 5.2 as presented.
Second. Any questions or comments?
2 questions. I just wondered about the fee schedule. Is that something that we're going to post on our website?
It's the same.
It hasn't changed. It's not changing. Okay. And then I just wondered, how do we, when it says reasonable use fee, I just wonder how we calculate the cost for utilities, services, or supplies in the leasing agreement.
The state demands that we capture any costs that we have because they don't want our funds that they give us for education purposes to be used in this. So the assessment for fees is made with that determination.
It's
So
not built
utilities-
into the fee schedule already?
I'm sorry?
It's not built into the fee schedule
It
already?
is.
It is, okay.
We did a big revision on this a couple of years ago, wasn't it, Missy? Where, because they really was cracking down, that rule was in place, but they were really cracking down on it more so that we could not supplant that because our rates were really low. So that big revision was done, and now this is pretty much the same for the last couple of years. I think last year was the same as well, so. Okay. Any other questions? Terry?
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Roger Smith,
Yes.
Nancy Iannoni,
Yes.
Joe Navarrete?
Yes. Item 5.3, approval of governing board and administrative travel.
President Navarrete, members of the board, it is recommended that the board approve that Mrs. Navarrete, President, Mr. Rooney, Vice President, Mr. Schmidt, Board Member, Diana Asire, Superintendent, Aggie Walter, Director of Special Services, and Denise Minor, Director of Personnel and Technology, travel to the Arizona School Boards Association Annual Law Conference on September 7th through 9th, 2016, which will be held in Scottsdale, Arizona.
We have a motion to approve.
I move that we approve action item 5.3 as presented.
Second. Questions or comments? Terry?
Roger Smith?
Yes.
Nancy Iannone?
Yes.
Nicole Cohen?
No, with an explanation. I only vote no, not only because I went to this law conference last year and I didn't think that it was worth the money. All the materials, because we're members, are available online to us. I wish it was just Diana going and not everybody else, because I think it's important for our new superintendent to go down there and to meet all the people that are making decisions in Phoenix, because they will all be there. But to go year after year, I don't think that it's a good use of our money. So with that, I vote no, and I wanted to explain.
Joe Navarrete?
Yes. And I'll make a statement on that, and that is that we've chosen, there's quite a few different conferences that are held all year long, as you can imagine, and the board has made a determination that the most valuable one that we've found is the law conference, because we've gone to several over the years, and that has been the most valuable one. And it also gives us a chance to, you know, talk about school issues that are upcoming and network with other districts. And like you said, Nicole, that is really important to be able to do that for Diana, number one, but for us to make introductions for her, number two, and also to foster those relationships. So I think it is an important piece of what we do. So that's just my 2 cents. And we will move on. And if anybody else has anything they want to say. Okay. We'll move on to 5.4, approval of changes to extracurricular, co-curricular enrichment activities for tax credit funds. Mrs. Wood.
Okay, Madam President, members of the board, it's recommended that the governing board officially approve the deletion of 2 tax credit programs. The Thunderbolt represents Social Studies Club and the Lake Havasu High School Tutoring Club. Both Mrs. Mulligan and Mr. Becker have requested these closures. Any funds that are in those particular accounts will be transferred to the all no preference, and those are managed at the site level.
I make a motion that we approve 5.4 as presented.
Second.
Questions or comments? Terry?
Roger Smith?
Yes.
Nancy Iannone?
Yes.
Nicole Cohen?
Yes.
Joe Navarrete?
Yes. 5.5, approval of pay for performance plan for school year 2016-17. Mrs. Minor?
Madam President and members of the board, it is recommended that the governing board approve the following performance pay 301 plan for 2016-17, also known as the Classroom Site Fund. Lake Havasu Unified School District has high expectations for our students, teachers, and administrators. In that context, the LHUSD 301 performance plan is designed to compensate teachers for attainment of school goals as well as individual performance. This year, the LHUSD District 301 Committee met to review this framework and made no significant revisions. A full copy of the document will be forwarded to the board electronically. Members of the LHUSD District 301 Committee for 2016-17 are Administration, Jamie Festa; Havasupai, Tiffany Berry; Jamaica, Jamie Hammer; LHHS, Chris Gary and Erica Washington; Nautilus, Christy Olson; Ora Grande, Christina Musselman; Smoke Tree, Tamara Yates; Starline, Jennifer Black; Thunderbolt, Nissa Harris; and the district is Denise Minor.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that the board approve action item 5.5 as presented.
Second.
Questions or comments?
The professional development topics that are approved by you, as the Director of Educational Services. Do you take suggestions on that?
Yes, I'm open to suggestions. Most of it comes from professional staff, but yes.
Okay.
And they're site-based as well, so.
Right.
Anything else?
You weren't going to give one right now?
I'm ready.
All right. Did we have a motion on the wall?
Yes, we do.
Yes, okay. Terry?
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Roger Schmidt,
Yes, ma'am.
Nancy Iannone,
Yes.
Joe Neveretta,
Yes. Okay, item 5.6, approval of memorandum of agreement between Interagency Council of Lake Havasu City, doing business as Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Mojave County, and Lake Havasu Unified School District. Ms. Walton.
Madam President and members of the board, it is recommended the governing board approve the renewal of a memo of agreement between the Interagency Council of Lake Havasu City on behalf of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Mojave County and Lake Havasu Unified School District for the 2016-17 school year. The memorandum establishes a formal commitment between the parties to support collaborative work of Big Brothers Big Sisters in the district for our students. Big Brothers Big Sisters is the oldest and largest youth mentoring organization in the United States. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Mojave County became affiliated with Interagency after completing a 2-year application process in 1998. Currently, Big Brothers Big Sisters has a district-wide after-school program servicing our elementary and middle school students. Legal has previously approved the document as to form. This agreement is attached for your review.
Motion?
I move that we approve action item 5.6 as presented.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Nancy Iannone,
Yes.
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Roger Schmidt,
Yes, ma'am.
Joe Neveretta,
Yes. 5.7, approval of purchase of contracted occupational therapy services with Salient Health. Mr. Walter?
Madam President, members of the board, it is recommended that the board approve the purchase of contracted occupational therapy services with Salient Health for the 16-17 school year, not to exceed $100,980. LHUSD has taken action to recruit qualified therapy-related services but has not been able to fill these openings. Salient Health is an approved vendor as part of the SAVE contract, RFP 14002-5. We are requesting approval of the purchase of contract occupational therapy services for the 16-17 school year with Salient Health at a rate not to exceed $72 an hour. LHUSD is obligated to ensure the provision of services for eligible students to receive a free appropriate public education for students requiring related services as required under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Funds from the M&O budget will be used to pay for services. Contract has been reviewed by legal and it has been reviewed by purchasing.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve action item 5.7 as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Terry?
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Roger Schmidt,
Yes.
Nancy Iannone,
Yes.
Joe Neveretta,
Yeah. 5.8, approval of purchase contracted occupational therapy services with Kaleidoscope Education Solutions. Ms. Walton?
Madam President, members of the board, it is recommended the board approve the purchase of contracted occupational therapy services with Kaleidoscope Education Solution for the 16-17 school year, not to exceed $105,200. The district has taken action again to recruit and hire qualified staff, but has had difficulty filling those positions. KES is an approved vendor as part of the SAVE contract under RFP 15005. We are requesting approval of the purchase of contracted occupational therapy services for the 16-17 school year with Kaleidoscope Education Solutions at a rate not to exceed $75 an hour. The district is obligated, as I stated previously, to provide free appropriate public education. This has been approved by legal and reviewed for purchasing. Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion we approve 5.8 as presented.
Second.
I think it's important for the people that weren't at the work session to know that this is an ongoing issue and it's a requirement, and it seems to be a harder position to fill than teachers, and that's hard too. So
And we aren't the only ones that
Right.
deal with that. The home health agencies in town have trouble getting these therapies to live in town. They do a lot of contracting too because it's a small pool, and they're not available here, and the ones that are competing at the big salary. Yep.
I got a question.
Yes.
These two look like the same item.
They are both occupational therapy, but they're two different companies, so there's two different contracts, and since the amount's over the $20,000 threshold, we have to bring them before the board.
Say that last part again.
We're over $20,000 threshold, so we need to have approval of purchases that are exceeding.
Well, why don't we just use one of them and add more money?
The reason why is they are an agency and they find a therapist, and it's pretty much like having, you know, like a professional athlete has a manager and an agent that finds them contracts. Well, they work with companies, and that's what happens. It's kind of the highest bidder, and they'll go out and find different ones, and the therapist will go with the agency that has the best offer for them. So we have been looking to fill those two positions and have not been able to, and these were the two qualified people we were able to procure. We are really fortunate. Both of them do have multiple years of experience. One has a lot more, and that's why it's at a higher rate. Both of those experiences include school-based, which is critical. It's very different than the medical model, and helps them to be able to hit the ground running a little bit faster than if they had to learn the whole world of education.
So
And having just one was a problem before, right?
We
Because
have
they broke the
multiple
contract.
students, right. We had hired one on a contract, and then they broke the contract, so we had to replace that position. And that company could not procure someone to fill the obligation.
So we're using two different vendors because one vendor can't supply both parties?
Correct.
Okay, understand.
What's our typical expenditure for this? Is it about 220,000 or so?
It will be, yes.
Mary?
Nancy Iannone,
Yes.
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Roger Smith,
Yes.
Joe Navaretta,
Yes. 5.9, approval of memorandum of understanding between the Interagency Council of Lake Havasu City and Lake Havasu Unified School District for elementary school behavioral specialists.
Madam President, members of the board, it is recommended the governing board approve the renewal of a memo of understanding between the Interagency Council of Lake Havasu City and Lake Havasu Unified School District for elementary school behavior specialists for the 2016-17 school year. The memorandum establishes a formal commitment between the parties to support collaborative work in better addressing the behavioral and social needs of our at-risk students in all our elementary schools. Interagency Council agrees to provide 2 full-time behavior specialists to support the elementary schools, and the district agrees to provide $10,000 in grants funding to supplement the wages and benefits. Funding will come from the 220 grant. This has been reviewed by purchasing. Legal has previously approved the document as to form. We're getting a pretty good return on investment with the amount that we're putting in, what we're getting. The student assistance program is where we really have structured that elementary program to be real effective, and it is evidence-based.
Strikes me as being a pretty reasonable price.
We've worked very closely, and Interagency's been a phenomenal partner to work with as far as being able to look at the needs of the community and partner up.
We're really not paying for this the way I read it. It's paying by some grant.
Right. We have a grant, and that's part of how the grant is written, where you're looking at agencies and organizations coming together to leverage those funds. And again, they are putting a lot more into this than what we are.
Do we have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve action item 5.9 as presented.
Any questions?
No, but a comment. It is still our money, even though it's grant money. I just want to clarify that. It's ultimately all of our money.
Our grant money.
Jerry?
Roger Smith,
Yes.
Nicole Cohen,
Yes.
Nancy Iannone,
Yes.
Joe Navaretta,
Yes. Item 6, informational report.
I'd like to draw the board's attention to the donations that we received during the month of July. Particularly of note, the High School Athletic Booster Club donated $17,000 to the athletics program at the high school. And the London Bridge Rotary Foundation donated $10,000 to provide opportunities for homeless students. So we do have a homeless population in our community. We're able to provide many things for them. The total number or total amount of the donations in July were $29,482. And of course, we already mentioned the foundation donations, which occurred throughout last year, so those have been recognized. Just as an update, I would actually like to thank Mr. Becker and his staff. We did have an incident yesterday at the high school with our air conditioning. I think you all heard about it, but we currently have 2 temporary chillers because we are waiting through the process with the school facilities board to replace those chillers at the high school. The larger of the 2 temporary chillers failed, and the small chiller couldn't keep up with the load, so we had several classrooms that were approaching 90 degrees. So we did make the decision to send students home that it was much too warm, and that occurred in a very short time in a very organized manner. So I appreciate the high school staff and students and parents for their understanding as we had to do that for the safety of students. I also am pleased to say that we are keeping track of our enrollment and attendance, and we are concerned about our enrollment declining, and we're looking at compared to the 100th day last year. As of today, we have 111 more students than we had in January of last year. So we are a little bit up in our enrollment. Mostly it's at the secondary level. It's not at the elementary level. So as those kids progress through, the numbers coming up are smaller. But for right now, it's looking good in terms of our enrollment. So I'm pleased that that's happening. And I know our teachers are feeling all of those bodies in their classrooms. So because they are all showing up and attending and getting an excellent education. So I thank the teachers for that.
That's good? Okay. Terry, we have all the communications and everything?
Yes, you do.
All right, thank you. Well, then we'll take a motion to adjourn. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Terry?
Nancy Arnone?
Yes.
Nicole Cohen?
Yes.
Roger Schmidt?
Yes.
Joe Navarrete?
Yes.
Thank you.